Work, energy, power, unit conversions. Example 1. Convert 100 watts to horsepower. So for us to do that, we need to know that 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watts. So we're going to use this conversion factor. So if we have 100 watts to start with, we need to change it to horsepower. So in order to do that, we need to put this number on the bottom, 746 watts, and then on the top, 1 horsepower. Then we can cancel out our units this way. The watts cancel out and we're left with horsepower. Then we need to go ahead and multiply this 100 times 1, and then we will finally divide that number on the top by 746 in the end. So we go 100 times 1 over 746, and this is horsepower. So let's get our calculators out. So we have 100 times 1 divided by 746, and we're left with 0.13. And it's horsepower. Let's do another example. Example 2, convert 24.5 pounds per square inch, PSI, to kilopascal. So we need to know that we can use either conversion. We can use 0.145 PSI is equal to 1 kilopascal, or we can use a conversion of 1 PSI to 6.9 kilopascal. So either conversion will get us to our correct answer because it's the same in value, but the numbers differ on both ends. So we can go 24.5 PSI. Let's go ahead and use this one. So if we put 1 PSI on the bottom and then on the top 6.90 kilopascal, then we can cancel out our units. We're left with kilopascal. Then we're going to go ahead and multiply 24.5 times 6.90 divided by 1, and we're left with kilopascals. So calculators out, 24.5 times 6.9, and we get 169.05. Because if we divide by 1, it just is equal to itself. So now let's do another example. Example 3, convert 50 horsepower to kilowatt. So we know that 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watts. But notice that this is kilowatts. So we also need to know how we can get from watts to kilowatts. So we know 1,000 watts is equal to 1 kilowatt. So we're going to be using these two conversion factors. So first we go from horsepower to watts, then to kilowatts. So let's start with 50 horsepower. Now we need to use this conversion first. So we put 1 horsepower on the bottom, 746 watts on the top. Then we need to do one more multiplication. So we're going to put the watts on the bottom so we can get rid of this watts on the top here. So we put 1,000 watts here is equal to 1 kilowatt. So we cancel out our units, and then we're left with just kilowatts. So now we can go ahead and set this up. So it's 50 times 746 times 1 over 1 times 1,000. And this is in kilowatts. So calculators, 50 times 746 times 1. Then we can just go ahead and divide it by 1,000. And we left with 37.3 kilowatts. Now let's do one final example. Example 4. Convert 0.0045 megawatts to watts. So we know 1 megawatt is equal to 1 million watts. So we can go 0.0045 megawatt. Then we need to do the multiplication. So we put 1 megawatt and then we put 1 million on the top. For watts, we can go ahead and cross out our units. Then we're left with what we need. So now we can go ahead and multiply. So we can go ahead and go 0.0045 times 1 million. And we're left with 4,500 watts.